Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. Apparently, this GMC Sierra had some work done at another shop, and according to the mechanic, the driver's side upper ball joint nut was also loose. Customer states, my gauges are all wiggly when turning. And this almost brand new Jeep Wagoneer came in because the material on the steering wheel was already falling apart. This customer came in complaining about lots of vibration while driving on the highway. Got a few more miles on it, no problem. And this Infiniti G35 came in after the owner had installed a lowering kit all by themselves. This car apparently does not like any air going on the windshield. This customer had their Mazda 5 in for a new ball joint at another shop, but had to come in again because the shop apparently didn't weld this one like they did last time. Vroom, vroom, vroom. This customer came in with their '07 Corolla complaining about a knocking noise when coming to a full stop. Customer states, my back wheel jiggles when going in reverse. And this customer came in because they apparently lost all steering while driving after having installed a lowering kit all by themselves.
That ain't doing nothing.
The owner of this Camaro had hit a curb really hard, which had pushed the steering rack into the oil pan, causing it to sound like this, and it apparently also drove in like this. Customer states, did my own oil change, car won't stop smoking. The mechanic later discovered that the engine was overfilled by about 8 quarts or 7.6 liters of oil. Uh-oh. Customer states, my steering wheel feels wobbly. And this Jeep Grand Cherokee rolled into the shop with a broken oil cooler. Customer states, car started making funny noises, but no check engine light is on. Customer states, car is pulling to the right. And this truck came in right on time because they had some issues with the rear tire.
There it goes. Told you.
And this choo-choo train came in with some issues. And sometimes, it's not only oil that comes out.
That's excellent.
2,000 years later.
This classic Rolls-Royce came in because of an engine problem right after the owner had just purchased it. The mechanic pulled the engine apart and discovered that someone had already tried fixing it, but done it with some JB Weld. This rear axle came off of a 2006 Nissan Frontier. Apparently the axle bearing went out, but the customer had just kept driving until ultimately having to come into the shop on a tow truck. This Chevy Trailblazer came in because the power steering was very loud. Turns out that the end seals in the power steering rack were bust, which had led to the inner tie rod boots getting filled with power steering fluid. And you know, this is what could happen when you let your buddy do the work for cheap. Something's not right here. This car came in to get its exhaust fixed, but the mechanic also noticed that the owner had done some electrical work all by himself. Huh. Seems like a perfectly acceptable amount of play. Yeah, I'd say so. And when your brake starts looking like this, it's probably a good time to change them. And this customer had an oil leak after hitting something small on his way back from work. And this car's valve cover gasket must be pretty non-existent for there to be that much oil in there. And this car came in for some brake work, but when the mechanic told the customer the price, they said that they'll think about it, but then never came back. And this customer didn't give his full name, but the mechanic suspected that it must be Flintstone. Customer states, car jerks hard whenever I floor it. This Volkswagen Golf 5 rolled in because it was overheating and making funny noises. Turns out it was all due to a pretty well used water pump. This customer came in with his BMW X5 to get a repair quote. He never mentioned exactly how or what had happened to the car, but the mechanics noticed from the service book that the car had a lot of engine issues in the past. So they thought maybe this guy was actually just trying to get a new car from his insurance company. And this customer had just bought this truck 2 days before coming into the shop. Customer states, my back door is loose. This ProMaster cargo van came in because the customer complained about an oil leak. The mechanics found the engine to be completely locked up. This 2022 F-150 came in because the customer complained about the 4-wheel drive not working after only 5,000 miles of use. The mechanic opened up the transfer case and found this. This customer came in with their F-150 saying he had steering issues. The mechanic found the electric rack and pinion to be filled with water. This mechanic had already asked the bolt nicely 5 times before having to do this. And this certainly looks like an acceptable amount of play. This car had its engine done at another shop, but came in because it was leaking oil. The mechanic found the rear main seal and a couple broken valve springs to be the cause. Customer states, weird sounds coming from my front wheel. This GM 3.6 liter is getting some stretch timing chains replaced. This is what happens when a car has been sitting outside for 6 months with no hood and valve cover, with only an old towel covering the intake. Luckily though for this car, after getting some new cams, lifters and rockers, it somehow ran okay again.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Customer states, car started vibrating and making funny noises. Apparently, this customer had insisted on driving onto the lift themselves at a quick fix repair shop. And this customer came in because their engine wouldn't stop making a meowing sound. Customer states, there's a party in my dashboard and the car won't start. This Toyota CHR came in because it had some transmission issues. And this customer came in because the service stability system light was on and they had a fluid leak. Once on the lift, the mechanic found a transfer case to be wrapped in aluminum foil, duct tape, silicone, epoxy, and covered with a layer of spray paint. And this car came in because the customer said it wouldn't start. When the mechanic popped the hood open, he found plenty of creative solutions and lots of loose spaghetti to be the issue. Among other things, the customer had bypassed the ASD relay on 10-gauge wires, hastily grounded an old-fashioned voltage regulator, and also bypassed the fuel pump relay for some reason. And this car came in because of a clunking noise coming from the wheels. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.